This is not about, oh, I'm tough, I'm gonna show you guys how I'm tough. Of course I'm tough, but I'm smart too. I'm more smart than tough. And people watch on my record and they think, oh, this guy tough. This is not about tough. This is about mind. This is about how you think when you fight. Like, you know, like this is about...
You see, we live in a consumerist society, which means they need you to buy stuff. And the easiest way to sell it is to tell you you're not enough. Buy this car, you'll get girls. Buy this bra, you'll get guys. And we're seeing it so much that we start believing these lies, but the truth is, the makeup they're selling to make you feel prettier is the same makeup you buy to stop feeling shittier about this lie they keep telling you that you are not enough. And yes, love is the answer, love is the key, but if you can't love yourself, how could you ever love me? She would say, I'm so dumb, and I'd say, you're so brilliant. She'd say, I'm so weak, and I'd say, you're so resilient. And when she said, I feel ugly, and I said, you look beautiful, she asked me why I was so dutifully filling up her cup constantly and yet treating my own cup so irresponsibly. She gave me a hug, and she said, treat yourself like someone you loved. And deep in my core, I knew it was time to stop looking for more until I could look through all my fear and look into a mirror and see clearly that the man looking back at me was the only one who can make me happy, and I am already enough.
People are going to constantly judge us, whether we go after big dreams or do nothing. We're going to be judged. Either way, if we sit on a couch all day, our parents and our friends are going to be, you're lazy, do something with your life. If we go chase after the most audacious dreams we have, a lot of people are going to attack us and try to bring us down. So we might as well go do something with our lives and say thank you for the feedback and move on.
Someone asked me recently, they said, Jay, what do you think is the greatest skill you can have as a human? And the idea that came to my head was the greatest skill you can have as a human is being able to do something that's good for you even when you don't feel like it. Because that is the crux of life. Like, the amount of days that I wake up and actually want to go to the gym are very, very few. But do I feel amazing after going to the gym? Yes. Meditation's been a part of my life for a long time, so it's changed. I have a healthy relationship with meditation, but there are still days when I don't want to meditate, or I'm too tired or exhausted, or I'm too bored to go to sleep early, and so I'd rather think that maybe if I stay up a bit late, I'll be more entertained. And so I find that things that are good for me feel hard in the beginning, but feel great afterwards. And things that are bad for me feel easy in the beginning, but they're really bad for me afterwards.
In what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labor.
Very tiny proportion of men, and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are on the street are men. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men. People who do worse in school are men. It's like, where's the dominance here precisely? What you're doing is you're taking a tiny substrata of hyper-successful men and using that to represent the entire structure of Western society. There's nothing about that that's vaguely appropriate.
I want to introduce y'all to this very simple concept. If you want it, you gotta go get it. It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide clubs, partying, trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your molding and shaping and developing your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you're gonna fly. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. All the homies texting and calling and trying to make you feel bad about being so focused. It's grind season, homie. It's not about today. It's about the future.
If I'm having a panic attack, or if I'm telling you how sad I am or how I actually feel, try a hug. It's mental illness, mental illness, mental illness. It's not like my daughter feels horrible about herself. Let me hug her. It's take your medicine. It's do you need to go to a hospital? Do you need... It's mental illness before it's me.
It's said that the human mind has 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are negative. and negative highly based on things we can't control. When you're focusing on something you can control, you're not having a negative thought, even if you're dealing with negative information. When you're seeing yourself focusing on things you can't control, that's when you don't want to be. Anytime a thought comes into your mind, I want you to stop and ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is yes, go right in and get involved. If the answer is no, gather the information and then switch over to focusing on what you can control.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month, but only one thing is true. I will be champion one day, I promise. I promise.
We've been told two lies in our life. The first lie is, you're nothing. You're not worth anything. That's the first lie. The second lie we've all been told is you can be anything. It's not true. The way we're wired defines what we can do with that wiring. And therefore the truth is, you can't be anything you want, but you can be everything you are.
One time my mom said, you need to get a job. I said, I already have a job. I'm just not getting paid yet. Actually, I have a career.
That's a huge punchline.
Real stuff, man. I'm working on my dream. That's my job. If I'm gonna pay attention to my nightmare, I should be able to work on my dream. Well, one of them is gonna take my energy. I would rather give my energy to my dream than my nightmare.
If you don't love yourself, you won't allow somebody else to love you. If you could always just look in the mirror and see a human being that's trying and that's worthy of a high five, and a human being that failed and okay, we're gonna brush it off and that's worthy of a high five. Somebody who is running the marathon of life that you are going to celebrate every step of the way.
I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids, but I was rich because I had a dream.
I'm not angry, I am in pain, and you put me here. The person who's supposed to love me more than anything.
When you experience conflict with someone, or you experience a disagreement or a disconnect with someone, our society version is blame them, it's their fault, they upset you, they're wrong. And our friends will agree with that. When you go and tell your friend that so-and-so did something, they'll say, oh yeah, well, you know, he or she's a XYZ. And actually in that moment, I think the best thing we can do is, what's my accountability in this? What part of this have I created for myself? This is a really uncomfortable, difficult question to ask, but it is the best question you can ask yourself.
The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now. The reason most people fail is because they give up what they want most for what they want now. If that was one message, it'd probably be that. Like, people don't fail because they're not talented or skilled or whatever. It's like you give up what you want most for what you want now.